What's up? It's Earth doing today's daily bread, and I pray that God supplies all your needs, puts food on your table, and bless you very richly. And today's verse is found in Isaiah, and it says, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. Isaiah 43:1b. So, my Bible says, I have called you by your name, you are mine. So, if he says, I have called you by your name, that means, therefore, you are mine. And originally, sure, your parents named you. They named you, of course, and God had that name for you before your parents did. He gave your parents that name, and so God doesn't just have one name for you. He has two names for you. The name that you have now and another name that he's always had that nobody else has. Absolutely nobody else. And it could be anything like peaceful messenger or joyful dancer. It could be anything because God has that name for you, and it just speaks you, because that name just means you. And because he named you, that means that you are going to be his, and you are his sheep, and he's your shepherd, and he calls you by your name, and therefore you're his. Just like seeing as how your parents, they call you by your name, but then they also call you nicknames like Earthling. And so that it kind of says that you're theirs because they named you first. But other people call you by your name too, but they weren't the first ones to call you by that name. It was your parents that called you by your name first. And Jesus was the very first person, the very first thing to call you by your name. So therefore, you are his, but you are also your parents. Does that make sense? I don't know. But if you really want to know, just ask God, because he's open for questions. So I hope that you enjoyed that verse and that you realize that God is your Father and you are his and you can't run away from him. He will let you go, but you will always run into him no matter where you go. Bye, guys.